the medieval festival. I should just send you all back to work, but you clearly want to hear the story of how I married to that wind Palamon. But first, I should introduce my magnificent self. My name is Lady Emily, and I'm the stunningly beautiful daughter of Duke Theseus. Now let me start the story. It all begins with two cousins in a prison cell. When they saw me through their tiny window, the lovesick fools immediately fell in love with me. And why wouldn't they? I'm certainly the most beautiful lady they had ever seen. They started to quarrel, and John the jailer, or another weak fool incapable of disciplining them, let one of them go. Then John, that idiot, forgot to lock the cell. The other one, Palamon, escaped, and they ended up being tracked down by my dad. Then my dad made them do this big joust for my hand thing. Ew, what is this? Servant, fix my hair. Now I hope you enjoy the show.
A long time ago, there was a big war against an evil duke named Theseus. There were two brave cousins, Arcite and Palamon, who fought alongside one another. Unfortunately, Arcite and Palamon were quickly defeated. Duke Theseus captured them and brought them back to the dungeon, where they shared a tiny cell with one very tiny window.
Always the same view from the shrunken window. Never anything but the flowers in the garden, servant.
At least you have something to look at. Give me the stool. It's my turn.
You always say that. Give me a little bit longer.
You are such a greedy person. You've had it for hours now. There's nothing for me to do, think, or look at.
Oh my, I spy a lady. A beautiful lady. I wonder who she is.
It was Lady Emily, picking flowers in the palace garden.
What a beautiful day. What a beautiful garden. Don't I look beautiful in it?
Although Palamon had just seen her, he immediately fell in love with her.
Do you believe in love at first sight, cousin?
I believed in a lot of things before we were locked up in this horrible tower.
Well, you should change your mind now, because I am falling madly in love with the lady I see before me. She can't possibly be real. She must be an angel.
Calm down, wise guy. Let me see. How lovely these flowers are. Well, not as beautiful as me, but they're nice enough. O-M-G. She is the love of my life. I've never seen a more beautiful lady in all of my travels.
How dare you make eyes at my true love?
Your love? She's my love.
No way. I already called dibs.
But I love her the most. She's mine to have, not yours.
Are you mocking my very existence by claiming my future wife as your own? How dare you?
How is this about you and your existence?
Their arguing became louder and louder until John the jailer couldn't help but check on them.
What is with all this yelling? I finally managed to sit down and watch the latest episode of The Voice, Medieval Edition, and I couldn't even hear the contestant finish Greensleeves. Ugh, whenever we have families in the same cell, it is always a problem. What is this quarrel of yours about anyway?
Her!
Well, too bad for you. She's the daughter of Duke Theseus, the lovely Lady Emily. Like either of you could ever have a chance with her.
Well, I'm still never speaking to you again, you piece of sheep's horn.
Well, I never want to talk to you again either. I wish you went away and never came back.
Then your wish is my command, Palamon. So I say you are free. There is someone in Athens who has won your freedom.
Yes! Wait. No!
Ha ha! She will be mine after all.
So I say you must leave by sunset. You are forbidden from coming back to this castle.
So Arcite left the castle, but not for long. He devised the plan to get close to Lady Emily again. He came back in disguise and became Lady Emily's servant. He could take orders from her lips, touch what she touched, and sat where she sat. Creepy.
How I've been so lucky to be the same heir as the lovely Lady Emily. If only Palamon were here, he could see how close I'm getting to her. He would be so jealous. Arcite! Oh, she calls my name so sweetly. Arcite, what on earth is taking you so long? I need my linens. Worst servant ever.
Meanwhile, Palamon sat in his jail cell, longing to get out and be with Emily.
I have to get out, but how can I ever escape?
Okay, time for me to call it a night. Let's check my to-do list. Clean the cell, check. Feed the princess dinner, check. Yep, that should be everything.
That was definitely not everything. In fact, John had forgotten something very important.
O-M-G. He didn't lock the door. Now we can escape and find Emily, and we can wed and live happily ever after.
Palamon ran out of the jail and into the darkness of night. Meanwhile, things were not going so well for Arcite.
Even though Lady Emily's beautiful face motivates me, I don't like being bossed around. She's kind of intense.
Once Emily was asleep, Arcite snuck away, heading deep into the forest. As he ran through the darkness, he suddenly heard a rustle in the bushes. Guess who?
Palamon, what are you doing here?
What do you mean? What are you doing here? Are you sneaking into the woods to steal my Emily?
Why don't you steal Emily if she's mine already?
You fuck doodle!
You quiz me!
They were so distracted by fighting that they didn't notice Duke Theseus coming towards the clearing.
Well, well, well. What have we here? Seems like Emily's servant and the escaped prisoner. Busted again. But before I throw you back in jail, what exactly is this quarrel about?
Emily is mine!
No, Emily is mine!
You two are fighting like little boys. You want to solve this problem? Fight like men at my jousting tournament tomorrow. Whoever wins gets Emily. The only condition is that the other one must die.
I won't really have to marry one of them, will I?
Emily, if you marry him, you will suffer for eternity. But if you marry me, you will in paradise.
Aren't you my servant?
Emily, if you marry him, you will suffer, believe me. I have lived with him all the days of my life, and he is almost as bad as the devil himself.
Who are you?
Enough. Tomorrow, my jousting tournament. The penalty of your absence is death.
The next day, the jousting venue was full of townsfolk waiting to see the great battle over the Lady Emily.
Welcome, lords and ladies, peasants and other peasants, to a jousting match.
Let the games begin.
The knights mount their horses and they're off. Arcite has gotten off to a fast start with lots of power, but Palamon seems to be going very fast too. Oh, they missed.
My goodness, maybe I should have just made them play rock, paper, scissors.
Let's try that again. Arcite and Palamon are charging towards each other. Palamon lunges forward with his lance. Oh, Arcite's lance drops to the ground. Looks like he's going to use his sword.
You're a goner, you pig.
Oh yeah, I thought you were the pig.
My, now there's some action.
And now, they're galloping towards each other again. Arcite's ready with his sword. Now Palamon's using his lance in defense. Yikes! Arcite rode straight into it. Palamon wins!
Finally, a decently good stab.
The cheers of the crowd went quiet as Arcite fell off his horse and onto the ground.
Cousin, sweet Emily.
My friend, what have we done? I didn't mean to. I was so wrapped up in my love for Emily.
Good job, Arcite.
It's Palamon.
Yes, yes. Well, you have fought bravely. Come now, Arcite, take Emily's hand, and you two shall be married on the morrow.
Do I have to? His hair is thinning and his mouth looks odd.
Emily, dear, you should be honored.
Honored? I think you mean terrified. Don't make me do this, Dad.
Come, Arcite, you will live in the manor with me and my noble family, and we'll be the best family ever.
It's still Palamon.
So Palamon took Emily's hand,
Ew, you smell like rotten eggs.
and they lived miserably ever after.
Hooray!
We're the knights of the round table. We are strong and we are able. There's no foe we cannot vanquish. We know right makes right.
Sing with me!
We're the knights of the round table. We are strong and we are able. There's no foe we cannot vanquish. We know right makes right.
Now, are we boys or are we men?
Men,
Are we men or are we knights?
knights.
Are we knights of the round table?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Then sing, men. Sing like the knights you are.
We're the knights of the round table. We are strong and we are able. There's no foe we
and welcome to the story of the rescue of Will Scarlet. It is my great pleasure to be here today. This is the story of bravery, friendship, with some bad jokes thrown in for good measure. My name is Much, by the way, Much the miller's son. The miller is the guy who owns the grain mill, so as you can imagine, I'm pretty special. This story begins when my good friend's home, a castle called Locksley Hall, is captured. Well, because Robin Hood trusted me so much, he sent me and Will Scarlet to go fetch some valuable diamonds from the Grand Castle. And you know how things go, with me being as funny as I am. Will got a little fed up with me halfway there, and made me be quiet the rest of the journey. Well, when we got to the castle, we saw the sheriff and Sir Guy guarding it. So Will snuck in, and you won't believe this, or maybe you will. He got himself captured. You must be wondering what happened then, but that's for me to know and for you to find out. Hold tight and enjoy.
It was just after dawn when Robin Hood and his gang of outlaws, the merry men, It was just after dawn when Robin Hood gathered his gang of outlaws, the merry men in Sherwood Forest. They were hiding out when they began to hear whispers that Robin's former home, Locksley Hall, had been seized.
You, Will Scarlet, and you, Much the miller's son, go and scout out what has happened at my old home, Locksley Hall. Your wish is our command, Robin Hood, and while you're there, I want you to retrieve 2 hidden pouches of mine that contain valuable jewels.
We can sell them and distribute the money to those in need.
We'll do our best, Robin.
And so the pair set off through the forest.
We're off to see what happened at Locksley Hall. Jazz hands.
This is going to be a long journey.
The 2 men journeyed through Sherwood Forest until they came to a house built of stone. The sheriff's men stood defending the structure with a great crowd around them.
Looks like they aren't lending in any of Robin's old tenants or servants.
You wait here, at the edge of the forest. I'll fix my hood and pull it down so they can't recognize me.
Yes, sir. Dun 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 dun. Sorry, I'll be quiet.
What seems to be happening here?
Good people, in the name of Prince John, this joint is not ours. You can stay if you pay up.
Don't worry, Robin Hood will find a way to fix this.
Will Scarlet tiptoed into Locksley Hall and went upstairs to gather the rest of his and Robin's goods. He moved stealthily to the end of the room, opened a trunk, and lifted 2 pouches out of it.
Now I just have to get out of this place.
Will almost slipped away unnoticed, but he unfortunately stepped out of the room just as Sir Guy turned the corner.
You there, stop. Where do you think you're going? Well, well, well. Lad, what do you exactly have in those bags?
I mean no harm. I was a servant here for 20 years, but there is no work for me now that my old master, Robin Locksley, has become a terrible outlaw. Nothing but my clothes here.
Well, you probably know that I, Sir Guy, am now in charge of Locksley Hall, and I don't want people like you working for me. Be on your way.
Thank you, kind sir. So long, farewell. Off we to saying good night.
Werman, the steward who had once served Robin Hood and who had now betrayed him, approached Sir Guy, suspicious.
Who was that?
Just a poor man collecting what was left of his meager belongings.
Sir Guy, I highly recommend that we check to see what that man was really carrying. He could be carrying out his former master's goods.
Oh yes, good point. Stop that man.
Will knew he was being followed.
Here are goods. Get them back to Robin Hood. Oh no, here they come. Hide! My belongings, as I told you before, my garments.
You will be fine.
Yep, the guy is telling the truth. Just old garments. Well, wait a minute. What are you hiding under your cloak? Good Lord, it's Will Scarlet. He can lead us to Robin Hood.
Let's take this traitor away. We'll throw him in the dungeon and prepare for him to be hanged.
Let us bring him before the sheriff in Nottingham. He will use heated irons to get the truth out of him and see if he betrays his master's hiding place.
There's one tiny problem in your plan, Werman. I'm not a lowly traitor like you.
Meanwhile, Matt ran as fast as his little legs could carry him.
Robin, I ran as fast as my long and powerful legs could carry me. They've captured Will.
He must be rescued or I myself will die with him. Go tell the others and prepare them for battle. We leave for Nottingham at sunset.
Madge and Robin planned their attack the night. In the morning, they disguised themselves and headed towards the town square.
I fear that they will hang Will Scarlet at noon. Let's set the prisoner free.
And so Robin Hood and Match set out to find Will Scarlet and set their plan in motion.
I'm no traitor. I will not betray my master.
Don't worry, we'll find him and hang him beside your rotting bones.
Sir, I ask one last request before I die.
Go on.
My master Robin Hood has never let any of his men die by a dishonorable death. Put a sword in my hand and let me fight against your men.
Ha! You really think I'd give you that chance?
You better believe it, you coward, you!
We are just going to cut out this part since some of the following words are not for young ears. Let's skip to the part where he asks the crowd to hang Scarlet.
The hangman went missing this morning. He can't do the hanging.
What? Then who will? Would anybody have the pleasure in killing this thief?
I have a grudge that I would like to settle with Will Scarlet.
Good, then come up here. Take it away, old man.
As the old palmer took off his cloak, everyone realized it was really Robin Hood in disguise.
Good people of Nottingham, save this innocent man from death.
It's Robin Hood.
Go now, leave him be, and no harm will come upon anyone.
Treachery, down with Robin Hood.
After a quick sign from Robin Hood, all his men in the audience ripped off their disguises. They drew their weapons, and the crowd shouted for joy at the sight.
Sheriff, let my friends go, or the first arrow I shoot will be aimed at you.
You'll pay for this, Robin Hood.
When the sheriff and his guards saw that they were outnumbered, they turned to flee.
Wicked awesome!
Good people of Nottingham, I am sure we will meet again. Come, merry men, let us return to the forest.
Long live Robin Hood! Thank you, Robin Hood. You saved my life.
It is I who should be thanking you. You were willing to die for me. Let's return to the forest. Hooray!
And so they head home to Sherwood Forest to face the sheriff another day.
present to you the story of how a beautiful but dangerous maiden fell into a forbidden love with the infamous Robin Hood, and they ran away from civilization to be with each other. Gosh, isn't it disgusting? So it all started when the awful Robin Hood started showing off his mediocre archery skills, and he realized that the lady was better than him. Ha! The amazing and skilled Robin Hood beaten by a girl. Of course, this made a huge blow to his huge ego, but I guess Robin Hood decided if you can't beat him, join him, and he claimed her hand in marriage, and she accepted. I couldn't believe this. Why would she marry such a lowlife when there are so many decent options out there? So me and the excellent Prince John have made it our life's purpose to catch and kill Robin Hood and save the beautiful maiden from his treachery. Well, farewell for now. Enjoy the show.
Once upon a medieval time, there lived an outlaw named Robin Hood. He was no ordinary outlaw. He stole from the rich, which in this case was also the powerful Sheriff of Nottingham and the corrupt Prince John and others like Sir Guy. Oh look, there he is now, at the annual Gamwell Festival. And there's Robin Hood and Maid Marian. The plot thickens. We leave you to watch this story unfold.
To the fine day to join in song and dance in the forest.
Indeed, I love a merry festival.
Look at all the crowds. I'd say this is the best festival we've ever had.
He looks oddly familiar, and so does that shepherdess over there, to be honest.
Show your skills, Clorinda.
Ready? Aim. Fire! Bullseye! Bullseye again. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Wow, who's that young woman and how is she so good at archery? She looks a lot like Lord Fitzwalter's daughter, Marian.
I've heard that her name is Clorinda. She's just a lowly shepherdess who often attends these feasts. I don't know much about her.
Very impressive, lady. But let's see if you're a match for me.
Bullseye again. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Seems like a tie.
It does seem that way, and to reward for your skills, I claim your hand.
My prize is having you claim my hand. I hear that you're Robin Hood of Sherwood Forest. Well, I'm Maid Marian, and we must run for it.
Maid Marian, how lovely you look.
Robin Hood and Maid Marian, quickly, get that scoundrel.
After him!
Unable to catch our heroes, Sir Guy of Gisborne and Sheriff of Nottingham go to interrogate Lord Fitzwalter, Marian's father. Oh, and look, it seems as though that terrible creep Prince John has joined them.
Lord Fitzwater, come out immediately.
What is all this racket? Who are you all?
Who am I? Who am I? How dare you?
You complete fool. This is Prince John who rose in King Richard's stead, and I, the Sheriff of Nottingham, his loyal servant.
Don't you mean Rottingham? Whatever. Prince John, isn't Richard our king?
Silence. My brother is currently away, and I can turn things my way. We are here looking for the putrid outlaw Robin. Last we saw, he was with your daughter.
My daughter? What, Marian? Nay, sit. She's been upstairs with her lady-in-waiting weaving tapestries, and now she is asleep. Please do not disturb her.
Your Excellency, perhaps we should spend this time looking for Robin Hood instead of waking silly maidens.
Very well.
Honestly, that daughter of mine. Marian, if I find out you snuck out again, you'll be grounded for life.
As Prince John, the sheriff, and Sir Guy take off into the forest after Robin Hood, they come across the band of merrymakers.
Out of the way, peasants. We're looking for Robin Hood.
And could it be his most honorable tyrant, the petulant Prince John?
Now you shut your mouth when speaking to me.
Maid Marian, you are in traitor's company. Come with us.
No.
Sorry, Marian. I'll protect you.
I can protect myself. Thank you very much.
Out of the way now. We're not leaving without Robin Hood and Maid Marian in our possession.
Step any farther and I'll shoot you.
Well, that's rich. You think I'm scared of a little girl? Why, you little...
Treachery, charge!
And then a battle of great proportions broke out, sending swords into the air and blood onto the ground.
Come on, let's run for it.
Retreat, retreat!
When Marian returned home that evening, she found her father standing by the door waiting for her.
I thought you were upstairs. Where have you been?
Oops.
At that moment, there was a furious knock at their door.
Let me in. It's the Sheriff of Nottingham here at the King's Men. Maid Marian, come out.
Just send them away and I'll explain everything.
Sir Guy is gravely injured after your daughter shot him with her arrow.
What? No, my daughter would never do such a thing.
Oh, really? Well, perhaps we should take you to the prince and you have to deal with him yourself.
I want the truth. Did you battle the King's Men?
I'm sorry, Father. I did.
Marian, what am I going to do with you? Perhaps I should put you high in the tower and keep you safe.
Even if you lock me up, I'll escape out of my window and run away to Sherwood Forest. Robin Hood and his men will protect me there.
Robin Hood, what is this news? I can hear Prince John and his men coming. Listen carefully. I have an idea.
So Lord Fitzwalter and Marian devised a plan just as Prince John rode up to the castle.
That is enough, young lady. You're grounded. Go to your room.
I would like to know why you sent my sheriff away.
Please pardon me, Prince John. I had mistaken your men as people working for the evil Robin Hood trying to gain entry to my castle.
Where is your daughter? She should be hanged after what she did.
I sent her to her room because she was at the festival so late. Marian? Huh? Where is she?
Look over there. The window is wide open. She must have escaped.
Gone? My little girl? How could she betray me like this?
Don't worry. Robin Hood won't win this time.
Lord Fitzwalter had stalled the King's Men long enough that Maid Marian made it back to Sherwood Forest in her disguise. But before she could find Robin Hood, she was intercepted by a passing stranger.
Who are you?
I'm about my own business, so mind your own.
Tell me your name and business, or else we shall fight.
Fine, let's fight.
Robin Hood soon found that his antagonist was as strong as him in swordsmanship.
How in the world are you as strong as me?
Robin Hood? Is that you?
Marian, what are you doing here?
The King's Men were after me, so I fled.
Then you shall come and live with us for the rest of your days.
Robin Hood then took Marian's hand and led her to his home. There was feasting and dancing that night, and Robin Hood toasted to his new queen.
Let us toast to King Richard and his queen.
And let us drink to the King and Queen of Sherwood, Robin Hood and Maid Marian.
Huzzah!
This semester, we have been reading a book called The Inquisitor's Tale. It is set in medieval Europe. The main idea is that there is a king going to war, not with another king or another army, but with 3 children who have supernatural powers and their holy dog. The 3 children are named John, William, and Jacob, and their dog Gwenfort. William is a Christian monk in training with super strength. John is a peasant girl who has visions from the future. And Jacob is a Jewish boy with the ability to heal. This creates some interesting dilemmas because of the prejudice they hold against each other. William holds prejudice because John is a peasant girl and Jacob is a Jew. Jacob holds prejudice because William and John are Christians. And John holds prejudice because William is a Saracen and Jacob is a Jew. When William is sent to the monastery at St. Denis, Jacob's village is burnt down, and John is accused of heresy. The children's paths collide. When the king finds out about their powers and Gwenfort's holiness, they are chased down by numerous captors. Together, they escape the clutches of villains, defeat farting dragons, and defy the king and queen, and save Jewish texts that were all supposed to be burnt, all with the help of the archangel Michelangelo. In class, we wrote poems inspired by these characters and some of our favorite moments in the story. A few students will now read their poems to you. Sit back and enjoy this literary music to your ears.
the Inquisitor's tale, Gwenford the Greyhound is a strong, fierce, loving, and kind dog. She was always there for her companions and will always protect them no matter the cost. Here's my poem about Gwenford. Glowing greyhound rises from the earth, beautiful beams glowing across the wooded trees, craziness and confusion, awe and astonishment. The beautiful dog is a holy hound, 3 companions and 1 adventure, to salvage the Talmuds. The quest along the way is dangerous and daring, protective and powerful, fierce and brave, being hunted, running away and hiding, glory and gloom, the glorious greyhound is always there.
Gwenford is a holy dog who helps John, William, and Jacob on their difficult journey to save the Talmuds from being burned. She is a sweet, friendly, brave, and bold character, and is also crucial to the story. This is my poem. The glowing greyhound arose from the grave, tea green trees making a barrier of protection, crazy chaos in everyone's minds, wind blowing against her fierce fur, brave, blissful, and bold, hunters herding, people praying, glorious golden halo shining above her head, fast, furious, and friendly, the gentle greyhound gasping for breath as she sprints through the woods, sweet safety reached at last.
Sweet, brave, and hopeful Jean is friends with Jacob and William, 2 peasant boys, each with gifts from God. Jean is the most wanted Christian girl in the entire kingdom. At the climax of the novel, Jean and her friends have a choice to either save Blanche of Castile, the Queen of France, and their worst enemy, or run away and save themselves. What will they choose? To save their lives or to save their worst enemy? Here's my poem about Jean. Little Jean, so brave and strong, running away from the bright sky, searching, working all day long, believed the world, but was she wrong? Fighting, looking all around, but maybe she missed those horrid sights. Sweet Jean, so kind but so stiff in her, falling in sand till there's dirt in her shirt, helping the worst, finding her books, breathing, panting, or imagining the worst.
As a dog, close companion, and future saint, Gwenford goes on a quest to save the Talmuds and prove to the world that she is a saint. After resurrecting from the dead, Gwenford brought 3 very different heroes together as close friends. This is my poem. Nestled upon the grave stood a holy dog, victorious with victory as it rises from the fog. The people in this sleepy town have cried for many sleepy years. A whole lake could have been filled with their tears. But the crying will halt, for it has been many years since this terrible fault. And the stormy clouds of gray will soon turn into a glorious array. So knights, raise your shield. Has a true saint been revealed?
Gwenford is a holy greyhound in the story of the Inquisitor's tale. She is a loyal companion to the protagonists, John, William, and Jacob. At the end of the book, it is revealed that Gwenford is a saint. This is my poem. The ground trembled, the earth moved, but yet there was peace in the air. Suddenly, a regal gray creature arose from the ground. With a whip-like tail and a shiny nose, a slim greyhound appeared. The sun glistened on her. She is special. She is a saint.
King Louis IX's mother was Blanche of Castile. She was Machiavellian, commanding, and Jean, Jacob, and William's enemy. This is a poem about how these 3 children and Gwenford, Jean's dog, saved Blanche of Castile from the quicksand of Mont Saint Michael. The following is my poem about Blanche of Castile. Blanche of Castile, controlling cunning, her head a jewel, her heart a rock, runs, rides in this sand, horses' hoofs fall and flail, sinking, shaking, but never fading. But then an animal angel comes raging forward, coming to save her vile queen. Gwenford's her name, as white as snow, an amazing greyhound. 1, then 2, then 3, coming to save their vile queen. Heretics, outlaws, children are thee, coming to save their vile queen. Saved, embarrassed, thankful is the queen. No longer vile is she, Blanche of Castile. No longer is she the controlling, cunning queen.
your